Hey, I was decorating my bedroom and I found some paint in the shed for doing the skirting. It was a one coat gloss, it was a good brand, and it was a few years old. And I thought, oh, that'd be alright just to put on the skirting. And so I took the lid off, had a big skin on it, so I hooked the skin out, stirred it up. The paint looked perfect, so I thought, yeah, that's fine. So I painted it on and it beautiful finish. It was lovely. It was great. And the next day, it was sticky. So I thought, oh, what's going on here? Is it going to dry? So you touch it, and it felt dry to touch, but it just felt sticky. So I left it a couple of days. It didn't dry. I phoned up the helpline on the tin, and they said paint deteriorates, especially if it's not stored well. They said it won't dry. I didn't really believe them, but I left it longer and it didn't dry. It was sticky to the touch. And I did the windowsill as well, which I'm scraping off now. Because, so I went out and bought some primer and undercoat. And what I did, even so they were sticky, they were dry, so I rubbed them down a bit. Wiped them over a bit with a bit of white spirit, rubbed them down, and then went over with the primer and undercoat. And now they feel fine, to be fair. So the paint looks fine, they're not sticky anymore. So I'm going to do the Dulux one coat on top, and hopefully I've got away with it. But to be honest, I did the windowsill last night in the primer and undercoat. And to be fair, it was okay. It was pretty good. It was dry to the touch. It was pretty perfect, to be fair. But I did notice in this corner there was a slight blister, very, very slight. And I felt it and I thought, you know what? I'm going to take the advice of the paint company and I'm just going to strip it all back. Just on the windowsill. I'm not doing all the skirting because the skirting's fine. So I'm going to scrape it all off. And then I'm going to do the Dulux primer and undercoat, and then I'm going to do the Dulux Once top coat. So yeah, my advice is if you do find old paint in the shed, especially if it's oil based, don't use it, chuck it out. I just didn't think, to be honest. I mean, I could have easily got a new tin of paint to paint it, but I had that there. I had nearly a full tin, and I thought, well, let's use it, sort of thing. But I think the chemicals break down. It doesn't dry. I spoke to the helpline on the tin, and they said no, it won't dry. They said, you know, some customers said a year later it's still tacky, and you know, you could live with it. It wasn't too bad. It just felt a bit tacky to the touch. But yeah, if you've got yourself in the same situation as me and you've used old paint from the shed and it's sticky, my advice would be scrape it off and start again. If you've done all the skirting and it's going to be a right old mess, then I would just lightly sand it, and then try and go over it, sort of thing. Because I painted over it last night, to be fair, and with the primer, and it's fine now. It's not sticky at all. It looks perfect. So I think I've got away with it on the skirting. But I am going to redo the windowsill because I want the windowsill to be nice. So I'm going to scrape that back. I'm going to put some paint stripper on there, try and get it back as good as I can, and do it properly. Right, thank you.